Hi guys, this is my first SKX inspired build. I'm using a Marine Master dial on an NH35. Here's an aftermarket SKX case. It's a bit different from the original, of course, no markings. And the handset. It's a bit weird, I'm not sure what they're called, but this is what I chose. First, I clean the case. This takes quite a while, as I need to make sure there's nothing underneath the crystal. No dirt or any grime whatsoever, so I take my time and clean the case. Next, I broach the handset, make the holes a little bit wider and a little bit easier to install on the NH35. Here I'm installing the hour hand. I am using my hand press to set the hands in place. I start with the hour hand. Now I'm installing the minute hand. This is the part of the watchmaking process that is quite that will test your patience, so I take my time here. I'm making sure that the hands are aligned. Now the second hand is arguably the most difficult to install, so I move in close to the movement and I take my time in setting the second hand, because if I install it the wrong way, I might break the second hand pinion or break the second hand itself, effectively making this project a failure. Once again, check the alignment of the hands, that they're not touching each other. And I clean the hands as best as I could using a piece of Rodico. Once again, check the alignment, make sure the hands are not fouling each other, and there you have it. The movement is running. As you can see, the second hand is moving, and I am satisfied with my handset installation. Now I'm removing the crown so that I could install the movement inside the case. I aligned the indices as best as I could. This particular dial has minute markers, and they should be able to align with the chapter ring minute markers. it's time to install the winding stem to the crown. I use a pair of long nose pliers to grip the winding stem, and I hand tighten the crown, and I test it on the watch. Now, as you can see, the winding stem is quite long, so I need to measure the distance between the crown and the stem tube, or the crown tube, and I have to cut the same length off the threaded part of the winding stem. Now I have a pin vise, so I measure and I use a pair of flush cutters to remove the excess. I file down the end a bit, round it up a bit, so that it will be easy to screw on the crown. I also clean the end up with a bit of Patrikios to remove some of the metal filings. I use sandpaper to smoothen the end. And here I'm once again installing the crown on the winding stem, and finally putting it on the watch. I check to make sure that the crown functions as intended. The NH35 does hand wind, so that's what I'm doing here. The crown should be easy to screw on, and there should be no distance between the crown and the case. I just lubricated the caseback gasket. I'm installing it here, and finally I'm installing the caseback. The caseback on this particular aftermarket case is sterile. There are no markings whatsoever. And I use a ball to tighten the caseback. Here I'm checking the watch again, make sure the hands are aligned properly, everything functions well, date changes as intended, time can be set. So I'm installing an aftermarket SKX bracelet. Now this came from a watch I purchased beforehand. So this bracelet is used, but it will do the job for this build. So there you have it. I completed SKX Marine Master mod. I hope you like it.